Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my game dev vlog, week 1, part 2. So at the end of part 1, I said I was switching from pixel art to hand-drawn art. So before we get started, if you didn't watch part 1, I said I didn't have OBS set up properly, so some of the screen is cut off. I apologize. It is fixed for week 2. So let's get started. So at the end of part 1, I said I was switching from pixel art to hand-drawn art. So in order to accomplish this, I switched from Sprite to Photoshop. Now I have zero experience in Photoshop. I do have some experience in Clip Studio Paint. So I started with just learning the basics and the UI of Photoshop. I grabbed a sprite from Hollow Knight to use as reference for art style, sprite position, sprite simplicity. I really want to see what people who were successful, what they did and how they simplified things. So I spent part of the day learning Photoshop and the other part thinking about character, game, and art concepts. So I think for the basic concept of the game, it's going to be a robot father and son journey across some world. That's as basic and as simple as I can get right now. I don't have any details. I haven't thought about game mechanics yet. I do know it's going to be a 2D platformer. I got some art styles I liked on the internet for reference, and it was time to start developing a character. Throughout these videos, I'm going to expand more on the concept as I create it. So Photoshop had a pretty steep learning curve, but there are so many helpful documents on the internet. At first, I thought the shape tool would be the best place to start for cleaner lines, but I had a lot of issues manipulating the shapes. So I switched over to a pencil and brush tool and utilized the symmetry option. This allowed me to sketch some basic concepts and character proportions. So I spent most of the next day working on basic sketches. I wanted to get something down that I was happy with so I could color and import into Unity. After a basic outline of the sketch, I went to Adobe Color to look for color palettes to use. I didn't spend much time on the site, I just grabbed something from the first page. I'm trying not to spend too much time in one area just because I don't want to get stuck with details and perfection and not move further or make any progress. All this can be changed and updated later if need be. So now that I have a basic character sketch and a color palette, I think I'm ready to improve the details somewhat and draw out my character for Unity. So that's pretty much all I have for part 2. I know there wasn't as much in this video, but I will tell you I spent a lot of time researching different ways to use Photoshop, the different Photoshop tools. You'll see this in this video and in part 3. So in part 3, you'll see how I get stuck on how to animate a sprite by drawing or by setting up a rig in Unity. And by the end of part 3, I'm at a pretty good stopping point for my character. So again, thanks for watching. And if you like these videos and want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks.